Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Very excited to have 3 subscribers now. That's really exciting for me, and thank you very much. And please feel free to criticise or make comments. Much appreciated. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with my reading of Dissertation for Dummies. And this chapter is called Thinking About a Research Question. And in this chapter, it will be about discovering what makes you tick, finding a suitable topic, putting your research proposal in order. So, here we go. Finding an inspiring research question for your dissertation and coming up with a title that's short, clear and informative can be a long and complex business. In this chapter, I will help you through the process of finding a research topic that gets you fired up and ready to go. Discovering what intrigues and excites you is an excellent way of selecting a topic to research and for creating a great dissertation proposal. Discovering what excites you. As your dissertation develops, the wording of your title may alter, but the basic questions that you're researching stay much the same. It's vital that you make a careful choice about what you want to research. Discovering a topic that keeps you interested and motivated is all important. Writing your dissertation is going to take up a lot more time than you would normally spend on an essay or other coursework. Most institutions allow 1 year for dissertations, although some courses allow a little more time, others a little less. At the least, writing your dissertation is going to take a good few months, and it can be hard keeping motivated even when you're genuinely interested. Trying to research and write a dissertation that isn't holding your interest can be difficult to manage, as well as draining and dispiriting. Some of the questions that I'm asking in the following list may seem trivial, but trust me, if you can tap into areas that arouse your curiosity, you're sure to enjoy the dissertation process a lot more than if you pick a topic based on what you think is expected of you, or what you think is going to be easy and manageable. Jot down your answers to the following questions in your dissertation notebook. Yes, new stationery. Who doesn't love new stationery? What are your favourite TV programmes? What type of music do you like best? What sort of films do you enjoy watching? What kind of books do you read for entertainment? When spending time with friends, what do you like to talk about? What inspired you to go to university? Do you enjoy your own company? Have you a childhood interest that you're still keeping up? What do you do with your free time? What subjects on your course are you enjoying most? When chatting with other students about what they're studying, which subjects sound appealing and interesting? What sort of impact do you think your career is going to make? From your answers, try looking for patterns in what you enjoy doing. For example, you may find you enjoy listening to political music, watching documentaries, and discussing politics with friends. Or you have a passion for reading novels set in foreign countries. You like world music and wearing fashions from other cultures. Having highlighted aspects of yourself that make you tick can inspire you to get working on a research topic, such as the cost of providing sports facilities in deprived areas, or the particular needs of newly arriving immigrants. For example, if you've listed watching soap operas or reading magazines, it seems you're really interested in relationships and people's lives. Think about how your research can focus on people's emotional response to their situation. Although following your interests is important, be careful not to bring any deeply held personal feelings or hurts into your research. if you select a topic that's upsetting, you may not be doing the subject or yourself any favours. You need to strike a balance, so avoid choosing a topic that's closely linked to a negative personal experience. Following your interests. One of my students became aware that dance had fascinated her from early childhood, but was viewing dance as just a hobby and not seeing how dance linked in any way with her studies for a degree in education. After realising that her interest in dance was still important to her, she ended up evaluating dance workshops for primary age school children. Although her original idea was to carry out a theoretical study, she was delighted to be able to research something that she felt passionate about and make it part of her studies. Another student identified an interest in photography and was inspired to carry out a project involving working with preschool children on their perceptions of their daycare settings, giving the children digital cameras and analysing the pictures they took of their environment as data for her dissertation. Picking an idea that interests you. Finding a suitable research question involves building on your previous learning and touching upon issues that you care about. Instead of just thinking, what would I like to research? Ask yourself which aspects of your field you find fascinating. Some people find that picking the bits they enjoy is easy and end up with more ideas than they can possibly follow through. Others feel that they don't have any specific interests, but in my experience, people do have feelings about what they'd rather, or rather not, read about and research. Sometimes a student may say that she has no particular interests, but after asking a few probing questions, the student gets a clearer picture of what interests her, leading into a possible research topic. Here's a typical conversation between tutor and student while waiting in the queue for coffee about potential dissertation topics. Student: actually, I was going to email you because I don't really have a clue about my dissertation topic. Tutor: what are you interested in, generally? Student: you know, just about children and that. Tutor: any particular age? Student: yeah, 14, 15-year-olds. Earlier this week, I helped out at a centre for teenagers who dropped out from school. They were doing some sort of youth scheme. Tutor: oh, that sounds interesting. What kind of activities did they do? Student: I was thinking of doing my dissertation on it, but actually it was a bit rubbish and I was really disappointed. Tutor: in what way? Student: they had this budget for doing visits, but they were so worried about the teenagers' behaviour that they just didn't even spend it. It just seems to me that if you don't trust the teenagers, then you're just making the problem worse. I mean, I know that they were nervous about, but that's the whole point of the scheme, right? Taking people to different places, giving them different chances. Tutor: there's enough material here for a couple of dissertations. Student: how do you mean? Tutor: well, you'd have to be careful about how you manage the anonymity of teenagers, but make sure that any criticism is constructive. But don't you think it would be interesting to see whether there are studies tackling the problems faced by the centre? Following this conversation, the student had plenty of ideas on expanding the topic, and I only gave a few prompts to get the student to specify the age group she was interested in, a couple for some more detail, and to encourage her to rethink her initial decision of abandoning studying the centre because her experience there had been negative. Negative experiences can frequently be rich sources for a research question. Don't dismiss a negative experience too quickly. After thinking about the range of possible research topics in your field, you're likely to find some that switch you right off, others you get excited, and some leave you undecided. Try imagining the topics you've come up with so far as a lucky tip barrel. In your mind, reach in and pull out a topic one by one. Weigh up the pros and cons of each idea and move the topic from column to column until you have a clear idea which topic you want to choose. And there's a little table there to fill in. Have a go at doing this exercise more than once and sharing it with friends to encourage discussion. It's useful to put each topic on a post-it note and by moving them around the 3 columns, see which topics have greater appeal and possibilities. Working out what you don't want to do. If you try to discover what inspires and motivates you isn't working, try focusing on what you don't want to research. Start by throwing out all aspects of your field of study that you simply don't want to take further. For example, your field is urban renewal, but you have no particular fascination with one aspect of urban renewal over another. Try narrowing down your subject by rejecting the bits that you think are likely to be boring to research in depth. To find where you stand on urban renewal, ask yourself, am I honestly bothered about street furniture? Do I care about community amenities? Do I want to investigate the idea of special character or conservation areas? Am I worried about the design of public buildings? Would I like to know more about urban projects, how urban projects are funded? Do I want to think about transport? Can I bear to be reading about the gentrification of areas? Do I feel the urge to find out more about compulsory purchase orders? Do I feel strongly about green spaces? With luck, a picture of possible research question comes into view. This is only the beginning of your journey, however. You need to start doing some initial research to confirm your instinct that this topic is for you, and think it through thoroughly before speaking to your supervisor. If you've decided on your topic, the section on writing a research proposal will help you put your ideas into practice. Firing yourself up about ways of working. Despite all your best efforts, you may find that you come up against a blank wall in choosing a topic to research. If this happens, try going about your search for a topic from a different angle. Try thinking about how you'd like to go about a piece of research and what research methods you'd like to use and the kind of data your method is going to generate. Consider the following methods of research may help you hit on a research question. Interviewing. You enjoy meeting and talking to people. Case study. You're naturally self-confident and are good at building personal relationships without getting too involved. Reviewing existing data. Focusing your research on the current literature and archival material. Number crunching. You can handle and are fascinated by numbers. Statistical analysis. You have an analytical mind. Qualitative research. You prefer prefer concentrating on focused samples of research, using your own data, selecting from your own original research and not using empirical data. If you come to the conclusion that no particular aspect of your field of study excites you, you still have to find something that you can manage. Even if you aren't completely thrilled to be doing a specific topic, it's not worth worrying about it now. What you have to do is to focus on finding a research question that you can stick to and make sure of finishing your degree studies. If looking at research methods as well as subjects, you're still drawing a blank, look back to an essay you've done during your course. You're likely to find that you've already covered some of the reading required for your dissertation. I'm not suggesting that you simply repeat your previous essays. This isn't allowed. What a shame. But give some thought to those aspects of your earlier work that are still interesting to you, and consider developing the topic for an extended study. Defining your strengths. Before getting underway with your dissertation and selecting a particular method or approach, you need to look honestly at your own strengths and identify areas that may need improvement. You can then choose whether you're prepared to tackle your weaknesses or stick to what you're comfortable doing. Think about your whole life, not just your academic experience. Too often you can separate your life into compartments and think of skills as tied to particular activities rather than being tied to you as an individual. Auditing your skills. UK research councils have produced guidance for postgraduate students to help them audit their research skills. I've adapted some of the Research Council's ideas and added others to make the guidelines relevant to undergraduate students doing dissertations. Think about each question and rate yourself from 1, little knowledge and experience, to 5, plenty of knowledge and experience, for each point. After finishing this exercise, you're likely to have pinpointed the areas in which you feel confident and areas that need improving. The exercise is useful for helping you choose a suitable research method and talking your method through with your supervisor. Research skills and techniques. I can recognise problems in my field. I can demonstrate original, independent, and critical thinking. I have the ability to develop theoretical ideas. I understand relevant research methodologies. I'm able to critically analyse and evaluate research findings. I can summarise, document, and report my findings. I can reflect constructively on my progress. Background to research field. I've a reasonable grasp of the national and international context in my field. I have some knowledge of recent ideas within my field. I've thought about how people may be affected by my work. I've considered ethical, health and safety concerns from my research project. Managing research. I'm good at setting myself short-term and long-term goals. I can prioritise activities effectively. I'm good at planning ahead. I know where to find appropriate bibliographical sources and archives in hard copy and electronic format. I'm confident at using IT to manage my work. Personal effectiveness. I'm keen to learn new techniques. I'm willing to acquire new knowledge. I'm good at finding creative solutions to problems. I'm flexible and open-minded. I have self-awareness. I'm well-disciplined. I'm well-motivated. I know when to ask for help. I'm an independent worker. Communication skills. My writing is clear and informative. I can write for a target audience. I can construct coherent arguments. Choosing a topic for the wrong reasons. You need to avoid selecting your research topic for the wrong reasons. When attempting to define your research topic, you're aiming to focus on what matters to you and what you find interesting. You need to be ruthless in deleting the subjects you think should concern you, but which hold no real interest for you. Sometimes students feel they ought to be studying a certain area because they feel it balances the subjects they cover in their degree course, or it is going to help them get their dream job. It is usually a bad idea to use these sort of reasons when choosing a topic for your dissertation. A voyage of self-discovery. One student I worked with was very shy in class, but when it came to her dissertation, she needed to interview some teachers, but felt awkward and uncomfortable at the prospect. We chatted about what she did for fun outside of university, and it came to light that she was involved in amateur dramatics. No, she wasn't secretly aiming to become a West End star. It turned out that she did the accounts for the drama company. This required her to present budgets at the executive council meetings, and she said she found she wasn't in the least bit nervous about performing her part in front of the organisation. However, she was clearly lacking in self-assurance in the world of education and theory, but highlighting her skills outside of her university course gave her the opportunity to rethink her dissertation research methods and topic area. She was good at juggling figures and presenting from a script, giving her more control over the situation. She decided to use her particular skills for interviewing, which allowed her to think and note down alternative approaches if the discussion headed off in different directions. Of course, as her tutor, I was keen to address the discrepancy in her university and leisure experiences, but her dissertation is what is relevant here. The student came to see that by transferring her skills from one area of her life to another, she was sure of carrying out a successful interview with the teachers. She decided that using questionnaires for most of her research and carrying out 2 scripted interviews was the way forward. By taking this approach, the student achieved a great balance. She got to develop her interview skills in a safe way, and through the questionnaires managed to collect enough data for her statistical analysis. Take a look at job advertisements. Many job ads specify something about academic qualifications, but few, if any, mention a particular dissertation theme. Potential employers are far more impressed if you can talk with enthusiasm about what you've studied, even if your studies don't match the job description. You can highlight the skills you developed through doing your dissertation, showing that you're able to sustain a long-term project. Getting across your ability to get excited about a subject is going to shine through if you're still energized by your dissertation. Straying off topic. Sometimes a chosen research topic can take you in directions you didn't expect. If you seem to be your main idea, you need to weigh up which direction to take. It may be your research so far has highlighted an aspect that you'd like to study in more depth, but you're unable to follow through at this time in your university career. Leave the topic for now. You can always come back to it in the future. You've probably just talked yourself into doing an MA. However, it's possible that your off-topic idea can impact positively on your dissertation, and you may need to seriously consider following the idea through, even if it means shifting the direction of your work. If the idea is a radical departure from your original choice of topic, but is honestly what you prefer to research, now's the time to review your plans and change the subject of your dissertation. This may seem a ridiculous thing to do after you've put in a lot of planning work, but every day you put off changing the research topic is another day potentially wasted. After making the right shift, you're going to feel a great sense of relief. Checking out your research question. In this section, I take you through the process of defining your research topic using the following steps: identifying your interests, generating ideas about your research question, making your initial exploration, refining and narrowing your topic. Identifying your interests. To come up with your research question, you need to know what you want to investigate. In the earlier section, discovering what excites you, I offer you ways of finding out where your passions lie. After getting to grips with your general interests, you now need to focus on one particular aspect. Even if your focus is vague and unformed, to begin with, make a note of suitable ideas so you can review them systematically to reach a sensible, balanced decision. The process of reviewing each idea involves the refinement of the areas and development of specific questions that form the basis of your dissertation. As I show in Table 2.2, students have good and bad reasons for picking their research questions. Be honest with yourself as you look through the list. So this is the table. So, good reasons, genuine interest in the area. Then a bad reason would be, seems like an easy option. Often something may look easier than it is. If you see a colleague apparently cruising through her work, it may be that she is really motivated. Not that the topic is easy. Talk with your supervisor about what is manageable. Think in terms of doable rather than what is easy or hard. Good reason, familiarity with the field. Bad reason, not too much theoretical stuff. You can't escape reading when you're undertaking a dissertation. If you want to cut down your reading, choose an area that you've studied a bit in the recent past. Don't choose something that you've written loads of essays on, but pick out an idea that you've touched on before. Good reason, experience of the research methods. Bad reason, saw a programme on TV. You can draw your inspiration from anything you like, but don't assume that you can replicate something from TV. Remember that programmes aren't always thorough or academic, and ideas can be simplified or sensationalised to hold audience interest. What you see on TV may not bear much relation to the topic when translated into a dissertation. A good reason, tutor recommended the area. Bad reason, determined despite supervisor's advice against. If your tutor is pleading with you to change your topic, it's usually for a good reason. She doesn't want to see you embark on an impossible project, and she doesn't want to have to pick up the pieces if it all collapses around you. Listen to her. She is there to dispense sound advice. Good reason. Prior reading or experience. Bad reason. Can't think of anything else. Desperation is not the best reason to choose a topic. If you're really settling for any old thing because you're worried about time running out, you're likely to regret it later. Go back to your previous courses and reread your old essays. See if perhaps there is a spark you can build on. Access to research subjects. Bad reason. My friend is doing the same topic. It's lovely to share, but it's not a great idea to just go along for a ride with a friend. It's your dissertation, not hers, and you can do similar topics without doing the same thing. It's still possible to share the journey of writing a dissertation without having to write on the same topic. Generating ideas. Social science is about society, people and the way people live their lives. To help you close in on a research question, think about which topics in the following list interest you most. What is society like? What do people need? How do people behave? What do people think? What do people say? How do people interact? What structures can help people? Making an initial exploration. Each possible research question you come up with needs to be tested to find out whether it's feasible. There's little point in choosing something very obscure. If you do, you may struggle to find literature or previous research projects in the field. Similarly, you should avoid picking something that doesn't really interest you. Make a note of the following points. Is your idea central to your field, or at least obviously significant enough to research? Find out what and how much research has already been done on your topic. Clearly you don't want to repeat anyone else's earlier work, but an undergraduate dissertation is not expected to be highly original. And if your topic is close to other recent studies in the field, at least you know that what you've chosen has some currency and relevance. Determine whether your ideas are genuinely interesting and relevant. Bounce your ideas off your fellow students, and if they don't glaze over and do show interest, you can be certain your idea is a winner. Also, ask your supervisor to review your ideas. Ask yourself whether you're genuinely enthusiastic about the research question. Make an honest appraisal as to whether you've bothered reading about your subject area, and note whether you enjoy explaining to others what you are doing. Ask yourself whether you're really prepared to put yourself out by looking for ideas and comments from experts or experienced practitioners. Confirm that your idea is clear. Explain your research idea in no more than 2 concise sentences. 1 is even better. If you can do this effectively, you have a good idea of what you want to investigate. Getting down to a question you can answer. After coming up with lots of ideas for research topics, See the earlier section, generating ideas, and the questions I ask in the section, making an initial exploration. Now is the time to take a hard look at your chosen topic. Your idea has to be translated into practical sub-questions. You can do this by coming up with every sub-question that you think you're going to need to answer as part of your broader research question. You need to consider the practicalities of your work and ensure that your project is manageable. These bullet points can help you generate practical question asking. You need to think of the many what, why, how, where and when questions. Think carefully about what new information your readers are going to be learning from your dissertation topic. You need to make the title of your research question clear. For example, does your research question fit one of the following descriptions? Critical description, building an accurate profile or portrayal. Explanation, looking at patterns, relationships or phenomena. Exploration, checking out the details of a situation or taking a snapshot in which you cast a new light on the subject. Choosing a different starting point. For most students, identifying a broad area for research and then narrowing down to a specific question is the best way of working. For some, however, this can work the other way around, with a specific burning question as the starting point. If you choose this approach, you need to then go on and place your research question into context. Choosing a specific research topic right from the start is more likely to be taken by somebody whose dissertation is based on their workplace, because that's where you generally come up against specific practical and pressing questions. Selecting a specific topic as an action research project is common at MA level, but many undergraduates do also work for a living, and this approach can be relevant